The people in cryptocurrency were being debanked just like Trump was being debanked.
Right.
And you know what? It's become the fastest growing industry anywhere in the world. It's actually removed a lot of the power from the big banks who have weaponized their platforms against the American people.
Hey guys, welcome back to CLOCKWISE Crypto. Hope you guys move forward in everything that you do. Diving right into it here. You have Eric Trump doubling down, putting his money where his mouth is when he's saying buy the dip. Take a look here at this article. We see that Trump's second son, President Donald Trump's second son, Eric Trump, responded by buying $18.6 million in Bitcoin and Ethereum. And this is after he tweeted buy the dip on X. So PA News reported on August 17th in response to the news that World Liberty Financial Associated Address spent $18.6 million to buy 1,911 ETH and 84.5 wrapped BTC. So it's not just, I think this is very good to see because he's not just saying buy the dip and not doing it. He's actually doing it for himself. And you can take a look at that excerpt that he did on Fox, really just breaking down what a lot of us went through. A lot of us went through being unbanked. A lot of us went through having problems with institutions that, in my opinion, I believe that they just didn't want to. They didn't really want everyone to start buying crypto, right? It doesn't benefit them for everyone to start accumulating crypto assets, start receiving yields, especially through projects that have staking, right? Why would I leave $10,000 in the savings account to earn 0.001% a year when I can put those same funds and stake them on a network and earn 10x that for doing the same activity, which is just letting it sit. So that is the threat that you're seeing, amongst the traditional financial system, right? You're seeing these banks that never had to pivot, don't want to pivot, and now they're in a position where they're either going to adapt or die, or adapt or be left behind because they're not embracing this new technology. Ultimately, it looks like it's about control, right? It looks like it's about control. Before, they could control if you send your money to a different country. They can control when you have access to your funds. They can control how much they're going to charge you, right? Now that power is being diminished week by week, it seems like, as people start to want adoption. They want to adopt new technology, right? They want to embrace new technology that's going to save them money, give them more control, help them make more money as well through yields, right? Or even through, yield staking, and or even lending that asset out. Like, there's going to be a ton of different ways, which you can't do right now in the legacy system. So here we have Canary CEO predicts Bitcoin will hit to 150,000 this year, but Ethereum surge won't last. That's something that we have not heard in a while, right? We haven't heard Ethereum's dead in a while. So Canary Capital CEO Steve McClellan sees Bitcoin hitting 150K by year's end before a 2026 bear market sets in. McClellan dismissed Ethereum, backing newer blockchains like Solana and Sui. Another analyst warned against dismissing Ethereum due to its app and developer dominance, which is pretty much where I stand, right? Ethereum isn't going anywhere. You guys know I do have Ethereum going from, I would say, 10 to 20,000. I think 20,000 is in play, especially if Bitcoin performs the way it should. And in our personal opinion, I don't have Bitcoin going to 1 million and Ethereum just going to 10 to 12,000. It just doesn't. It doesn't. The math is a math in there for me, any way you look at it. So here he's saying Bitcoin could climb to 150K before year end, followed by another bear market in 2026. So very open about his position, and we'll see how this plays out. I do think Ethereum is extremely undervalued still, and I do believe Ethereum is what Bitcoin was in 2018, 2019, right? I do believe that that is the same setup that we could see with Ethereum that we saw with Bitcoin. So looking at this article, Bitcoin has a greater than 50% chance of hitting 150K before bear hits, pretty much going through what the CEO just said as well. But also here he's saying this warning comes as other industry executives don't expect a sharper downturn for Bitcoin anytime soon. And we have Ethereum price analysts going through the price prediction here, and everyone's just doubling down on what the Canary Capital CEO said, right? This is what he said, and this is what, the excerpts of what people are thinking about what, Stephen McClaren said. So we'll see how this plays out. I'm not one to dismiss Ethereum. I think time has shown that we should not ever sleep on Ethereum, whether we disagree with what the Ethereum Foundation is doing. We disagree with Vitalik, right? Which I think Vitalik has grown a lot, over the past 8 years or so. You can see that growth, especially when it comes to really realizing that you have to transition to proof of stake. Like, we've seen that growth, which is great. So sleeping on Ethereum, I'm just not doing it at all. So next up, I think, is one of the most exciting news articles we've seen. Charles Schwab plans to launch Bitcoin Ethereum spot trading, CEO says. Why is that? And I think the deeper part in this is realizing that customers are wanting exposure to this asset. Here we go down here. Charles Schwab is preparing to expand his crypto offerings by launching spot trading Bitcoin and Ethereum. In an interview on CNBC Friday, Wooster said, the CEO, Rick Wurster, said Schwab clients are already hold significant exposure to crypto via ETF, owning more than 20% of the industry's crypto ETP market. However, he noted crypto still represents a relatively small portion of clients' total wealth. We anticipate launching Bitcoin sometime soon so that our clients have access to that. We think that'll be an acceleration on our growth. So I get how he's trying to pull back and say, oh, it's only a small portion, right? Here he's saying they really want to bring it back to Schwab because they trust us. They want us to sit alongside their other assets. So how I look at this is their customers are wanting this product. They want to have this exposure, and these big institutions, particularly the Charles Schwabs, the TD Ameritrades, like these big companies, Fidelity, they're going to have to offer these services. And like I told you before, when we talk about banks, adapt or die, this is going to be aligned with that, because if they don't offer these products to their customers, they're going to leave and go to their competitor that does, right? So this is a position that these institutions are in, right? And it's just a matter of time until banks start offering and have to do the same thing. They're going to have to pivot. And that's what we're going to see, especially ending this year and going to the beginning of next year. We're going to see a major pivot with what's being offered to retail customers. So here we see that this news article came out. The $10 trillion Charles Schwab CEO says they will launch Bitcoin trading sometime soon. And the reason is because they have to. You're put in a position where you have to adapt. You don't want to lose $1 billion every week because you're not offering a service that you could offer, right? Or even a product that you could offer. So that's what's happening. Love to see it. And like I said, that squeeze, that pressure when it comes to offering these services is putting them in a position where you're either going to pivot or you're going to lose money. That's where you're at. So going back here, Cardano, Charles Hoskinson predicts Bitcoin price to 250K with the new regulation. And going back here to the Genius Act and in the Clarity Act that was pushed through, we see here that there's a ton of momentum when it comes to the regulatory framework that's happening across the world, not just the United States. I would say the world. We look here and we see Charles Hoskinson having some fun. But one thing I would say is the United States is aligning itself to be the crypto capital of the world, which is what the current United States President Donald Trump wants for America. So we'll see that. And we have, I wanted to talk about this a little bit only because Charles Hoskinson really has been correct a lot of times in how he moves and just the decisions that were made. I know he was talking about proof of stake, and everyone's saying, what is proof of stake? What is that? We don't need that. Only for Ethereum to adopt that motto as well. So I think he has a good track record. One of the founders of Ethereum, knows what he's talking about, knows a little bit of everything. He's one of those, I think Charles is one of those guys where he knows a little bit of everything, like just a little. He may not be an expert at everything. He knows a little bit. Very smart guy. So we'll see how that plays out, because he's saying with Bitcoin could reach 250K just due to the regulatory framework that's happening, as well as looking at the increased adoption. So when he said this was before the president made an executive order to allow people to invest their retirements into crypto. This is before that. So again, everything he's saying is lining up. So excited to see how everything plays out. So we take a look here at the markets real quick, guys. We see Bitcoin's pulling back. All right, this is one of those buy the dip scenarios. Again, you know this because you look at the market cap. Market cap's down 1%. Fear greed is pulling back to neutral. Yellow, orange, red. You guys know the drill. Always buy yellow, orange, red. Stay away from green unless you're dollar cost averaging. But love what I'm seeing here in the markets, guys. I'm excited. I'm excited to see how September comes in. August has been one heck of a month. Love what I'm seeing when it comes to just laying the foundation for all of crypto, right? It's not just about the price. We see everything that's happening, the foundation's being laid, right? You had regulatory framework. You have institutions putting in ETFs, filing ETFs, right? Which could be a investment strategy. Every project that has an ETF, that may be an investment strategy to build your foundation for your portfolio. And then also we have banks and institutions pivoting and offering crypto products to their customers. Everything's aligning for alt season. Everything's aligning for a super cycle and a bull run that we've never seen before. So hope you guys got some value out of this video. Keep moving forward in everything that you do. We'll see you soon.